Big hand to Derek.
One, 4, 1, 2, 5. 1, 4, 1, 2, 5. Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Running, such a simple pursuit. And yet, if you run far enough, what a triumph if you exceed your dreams and exceed your expectations and realize a personal dream. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, what a year it was for sport last year, with the London Olympics and the Paralympic Games. And what a year it was for running. There was Usain Bolt, winning 3 gold medals, the fastest man alive, Lightning Bolt. And there was our own Michael McKillop, bringing home 2 gold medals from the Paralympic Games. What an achievement. Those 2 men realised their dreams when they brought home gold for their countries. We can all dream. As C.S. Lewis said, you're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. Tonight, I want to tell you the story of a dream I once had, a seemingly impossible dream. I want to show you 3 pictures which outline my story. A herd of cattle. The windy gap between Ballina and Tubbercurry, and the Daniel O'Connell Monument at the bottom of O'Connell Street in Dublin. I invite you to watch out for these in my speech as I tell my tale. When I was in 4th year in school, our career guidance teacher, Sister Annunziata, got us to prepare our curriculum vitae. And on the future aims section, I put down that I wanted to run the Dublin City Marathon. Now, I was no good at sport at school. And the only experience of running was when we were bringing in the cattle and one of them broke away. I went to college in Dublin. I lived in Kerry for 4 years. I moved back to Ballina. I met Elizabeth. We got married. We had our children. But I still hadn't discovered running. But running must have been at the back of my mind, and I must have spoken about it. Because at Christmas 2008, Elizabeth brought me into Jerry Kenny's and she bought me a pair of shorts. Now the shorts stayed in the drawer till the following spring, when I noticed in the Western people a new initiative that the Ballina Athletic Club were starting called Fit for Life. And if you had an interest in walking, jogging or running, you could come down to the track on a Thursday night. The notice jumped out at me. It was like it was meant for me. And there began my life as a runner. At first, I could barely run from one lamppost to another around the track. But eventually I could run the whole lap, or 2, and gradually we progressed and we ran down through the woods at Ballina, or round by Culleen School, or down to the rugby club, 4 or 5 miles. We entered 8k and 10k races, We ran on hills and we increased our speed. The first half marathon I did was the inaugural River Moy half marathon in May 2010, which was a great experience, followed by the Achill half marathon that July and the Galway Bay half marathon that October. Now the logical next step was to run a marathon. And some of our group did. They ran the Belfast Marathon last spring. After much thought and careful consideration, I decided to enter the Dublin Marathon 2012. Now preparing for a marathon, which is 26.2 miles, involves following a 16-week training program, where gradually you increase your strength and your fitness with a long run every week, increasing as you go along. We ran from Bonnyconlon up through the Windy Gap for 6, 8, 10 miles and back on a Saturday morning. Our longest run was 22 miles. For the last 3 weeks before the marathon, you taper your training, reducing the intensity and the distance to give your body time to recover. The Dublin Marathon 2012 took place on the Bank Holiday Monday, October 29th. Over 14,000 took part. As we lined up at the start on Fitzwilliam Street, we wondered, would we make it? How long would it take us? But we were ready to go and give it our best. Ebby, Sharon, Anne-Marie, and myself. 28 people from the Ballina Fit for Life Club. The clip I'm now going to show you is from 6 miles into the race, when we were running through Phoenix Park. Please watch and enjoy. You stumped me. One, 4, 1, 2, 5. My participants' number for the Dublin Marathon 2012. There's nothing like running outdoors, feeling the air on your skin, listening to the sounds of the country or the city. People lined the streets in Dublin, cheering us on, noticing our shirts, calling out, "Come on, Ballina," and "Up, Mayo." When you're running, you've plenty of time to think. And for me, the route evoked many memories. Shortly after we started, we ran up by Trinity College, where years ago I attended lectures. We crossed O'Connell Bridge, past the Daniel O'Connell Monument, and up by the Spire, and into Parnell Square. My cousin Ruth was at the entrance to Phoenix Park, cheering me on. And as I ran up past the zoo, I remembered a course I did there once on endangered animals. And through the hedge, I could see the sea lions splashing. We left the park at Chapelizod, once the old route into Dublin. And we passed Kilmainham Jail and went up by the Coombe, where my sister's 2 boys were born. Further on, we passed Crumlin Children's Hospital, where my son had a hernia operation when he was only 6 months old, and we handed him over to the care of the staff there. From Walkinstown, we cut across to Terranure, Rathgar, and past the dropping well in Milltown, all familiar territory to me. At mile 20, we endured the long incline of Roebuck Road with a steep hill at the end, nicknamed Heartbreak High. After this, cheered on by some Ballina friends, I felt I could fly up Stillorgan Road. We passed the Montrose Hotel and turned in right past RTE, and hearing an ambulance siren, I realised we were near to St. Vincent's Hospital, where my brother, who had health problems since he was a child, had a liver transplant a number of years ago. And then, unbelievably, we were on the home stretch. Mile 24 brought us up by the RDS. And between the hotel we stayed in Ballsbridge and the Aviva Stadium where we watched the rugby were my main supporters. Elizabeth, Ellen, Edward, Beth and Jane. I went over to high-five them in turn, and as I did, poor Jane slipped off the bottom of the step and fell, and I had to run back and cuddle her before moving on. The last 2 miles bring you back into the centre again. And just when you're within breathing distance of the finish, you have to do a loop around Trinity College and come back up Nassau Street to finish at Merrion Square. At this stage, you summon every ounce of energy that you have left so that you can sprint the last bit and sprint across the finish line. I did it in 5 hours and a minute. Please, relive the moment with me in my slideshow. Fellow Toastmasters, this was my dream. From 1983, realised almost 30 years later. From running after cattle, to long runs up the mountain, to running the marathon in Dublin. I only thought it was an impossible dream. But as Walt Disney says, if you can dream it, you can do it. Fellow Toastmasters, you too can follow your dreams and make them come true, stepping up onto the podium of success and receiving your finisher's medal. Like Usain Bolt and Michael McKillop, and all those from the Ballina Fish for Life group who finished the Dublin Marathon 2012, including me. Run, 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 as fast as you can. Realise your dreams like the marathon man. Thank you.
That was truly inspiring.